Another evening I'll be sitting reading in between your lines, because I miss you all the time. So get away, another way to feel what you did all yourself to know, and let yourself go. You know you didn't lose your self-control. There's no end of the rainbow. Turn away, another way to be where you could let yourself go, let yourself go. Is that a compromise? So what do you wanna do? What's your point of view? There's no point. Scared, do you wanna go? Handshake with you. What's your point of view? I want talk for you. I don't wanna go. Cause I really wanna stay at your house. And the palace looks so, but you know how much you brought me all along. Done with you, we're ignoring you. I don't wanna know. And I'm aware that you were lying in the gutter, 'cause I did everything to be there by your side. So when you tell me I'm the reason, I just can't believe the lies. And why do I so wanna call you? So what do you wanna do? What's your point of view? There's no point. Scared, do you wanna go? Handshake with you. What's your point of view? I want talk for you. I don't wanna go. Cause I really wanna stay at your house. And the palace looks so, but you know how much you brought me all along. Done with you, we're ignoring you. I don't wanna know. So get away, another way to feel what you did all yourself to know, and let yourself go. You know you didn't lose your self-control. There's no end of the rainbow. Turn away, another way to be where you did all yourself go, let yourself go. Is that a compromise? So what do you wanna do? What's your point of view? There's no point. Scared, do you wanna go? Handshake with you. What's your point of view? I want talk for you. I don't wanna go. Cause I really wanna stay at your house. And the palace looks so, but you know how much you brought me all along. Done with you, we're ignoring you. I don't wanna know.
Alrighties. Alright. Hello. Welcome. I'm not gonna lie, that probably was a little more intense than I would like for ASMR. Also, Turtle, thank you for resubscribing. Thank you for renewing your subscription. Let's keep learning together. But I've had that song stuck in my head since last night. I woke up in the middle of the night and I joined Hanya's stream. Highly recommend her. Oh, I got a burp. Okay, there we go. But, and she sung that, and I did not know it was from Cyberpunk. And specifically, it's from the Cyberpunk anime. And I am just because of that song, I'm highly tempted to get Netflix. Like, I'm looking at plans, like, could I make this work? So, as always, introductions first. My name is Ruin, and I am the Archsage of Arcanum Exodius, our humble little library on this corner of the internet. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And tonight is book three of our Marnius Calgar ASMR. Now, I am going to warn you, as is the pin says, okay? As the pin says. And let's actually, yeah, let's come to the tingle experimentation chamber. All right. I'm going to warn you, as the pin says. This is a very graphic novel. Like, it's very much done in the style of 300 / Quentin Tarantino movies. Is it awesome? Yes. It's a really good story. All right. And it's a lot of fun. But if that's not your cup of tea, that's totally okay. That's why I want to give people a warning before we got into it today. But before we really get into it, okay? Before we really get into it, I actually want to take some time here. And so here it is in all its glory. But I also, want to come over to Twitter here. I will never, ever call it X. Nope. Alright. And come over here. First, I really want to encourage you guys to follow me on Twitter. It is the easiest way to figure out what I'm doing. Okay? Easiest way. It's where I post most updates. I usually put them in Twitter first, then in the Discord. I do encourage you guys to join the Discord. We're going to start doing events, and I'm going to have an event calendar that we'll be releasing tomorrow. Okay, we're going to start doing events every weekend. So, what I'm thinking, what would be fun, would be to do like a movie night on Saturdays. And then Sundays will either be a community game night or a bonus ASMR stream. Discord only ASMR stream. Okay. Either or. Either or. Alright. Now, with that said, what I really want to encourage you guys to Mama Caroline is absolutely amazing. So Nicole, who's in my Twitch credits, was the one who did my chibi model. Mama Caroline is the one who's doing the fully grown model. Okay? And she's been working on it for the past year and a half. And we probably still have another year and a half of work to do. I'm not kidding. She's been amazing to work with. It's not my place to say what's going on in her life right now. She's just in a bit of a tough spot and has opened up commissions. So if you guys are looking to get any commissions done and would like to help out a good friend of mine who also is drawing my model, highly recommend Mama Caroline. Highly. She is so fantastic. So unbelievably fantastic. I've put her Twitter in the chat. I'll do it again for both. Okay, her artwork is absolutely amazing. Hello again, David. And again, so that link that I put in the chat, if anyone's looking to get some artwork done, my model mama, the person who's drawing my 1.0, not the person who drew this model, but the person who's going to draw who's drawing and the model that's going to replace this one. Her commission's just opened, and I would greatly appreciate it if you guys were to commission her. See. All right, now. Hello, remember? Let me make sure I got your name right. Remember? Okay, I thought it was remember. Hello, hello. I'm doing really well, David. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Now I'm going to say this again because I know some of you guys just came in. All right. Today's ASMR will be very visually graphic. Okay. Today's ASMR, we're going to be reading the Book 3 of the Marnius Calgor novel. This should take us roughly about an hour. That's how long it took the last time. Alright. And so we should be done about roughly 9:30 EST. Okay. Okay. But if you are offended by, like, if you're not a fan of, like, Quentin Tarantino movies or, like, 300 style movies, I'm really good, remember. How are you? How are you? It's good to see you. Welcome in, welcome in. If you are not a fan of that stuff, it's totally okay. You can tab out, just listen in, or if you want to go elsewhere, that's okay. That's totally okay. With that said, let's get the hoodie. Well, not the hoodie, but let's get the robes on. Let's get nice and comfy. I got one more thing I have to do, so like I will literally be back. At this time of night, I have to take my sleeping meds. Okay, otherwise I won't fall asleep till like 3 o'clock. Yeah, this is Warhammer 40k, David. This is Warhammer 40k. Going forward though, and as I was saying earlier, wink, I'll go ahead and do this. Okay. Highly recommend joining our Discord. Highly recommend joining our Discord. Okay. And following me on Twitter. Easiest way to keep up with everything we're doing. Remember, thank you for subscribing over on the red side. Welcome to the library. Grab a book, grab a blankie, make yourself comfy. Alright, we do ASMR every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then we have random streams, just because of my IRL schedule. On Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. I'm actually going to be releasing a permanent schedule here soon, and tomorrow. And we're also going to be releasing an event calendar, because we're going to start doing events on the weekends in the Discord. Okay? So, but I'm going to be right back. Alright, I promise I'm not going far. I forgot to take my sleeping meds before I start stream. You're welcome, David. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it. Meanwhile, I found some absolutely amazing music, and we'll go ahead and get it started. As always, if the volume's off, if things are too loud, please let me know. Please, audio is a struggle for me. I'm working on it, but I'll be right back. picking up. This is book 3. If you go back to our previous ASMR VODs, we read book 1 and book 2. Alright, so to give a quick summary over this is Marnius Calgor. If you've played Space Marine 2, I'm not going to spoil anything for those who haven't. He makes an appearance in it in some capacity. Somewhere, somehow, he does make an appearance in it. Okay? And so, he's the chapter master of the Ultramarines. Alright? And so he's a really big deal. The only person that is above him in the Ultramarines is Gilliman himself. Yeah, we're 100% gonna do this. I'm just giving you guys a little backstory. And trying to be like, hey, this is what this is about. And then you can appreciate just how beautiful this artwork is. It's absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Alright, and this is the backstory of Marnius Calgor. Now, when we last left off, he was visiting. It's split into 2 stories. The first story is him in the present day. The second story is him as a child before he was a space marine. Okay. When we last left off, he was telling about that he was telling this story because they were visiting his childhood home, and he was telling how he actually isn't Marnius Calgor. He is Marnius Calgor's servant. Alright, Marnius Calgor, the real Marnius Calgor, gave his life so that way he could live. And so he swore a vow to live Marnius Calgor's life to the best of his ability to do so, and to become the person that Marnius Calgor was going to become. And so what we last left off in the childhood storyline is this isn't his actual name is like Tiltamon, but it's Marnius Calgor now, because the last time we were the last stream, Marnius Calgor, the real one, just passed away because they got betrayed by their trainer, and their trainer shoved a dagger through Marnius Calgor's heart. Alright? And I cannot emphasize this enough. If graphic depictions of violence, like even over here on the Twitch side, I actually... Baz! Welcome in, Baz. Welcome in. You're just in time. You're just in time. We're just about to start. This is book 3 of the Marnius Calgor Warhammer 40k novel. So I don't know if you're a 40k fan or not, but if you are, great, you'll love it. If you're not, you'll love it. The warning that I was just about to give is that this is a very, very graphic book. Okay? Is that the images that are going to be in here are going to have very graphic depictions of violence. If that upsets you, maybe just tab out and listen in, or find someplace else to be. Oh yes, you might say it is a graphic novel. Yes, there is a reason why I actually have to have an example. Is if you go back to last VOD, in the last VOD when we were reading this, Marnius literally ripped a guy in half using his fists. These are called the gloves of Ultramar. They're purposely oversized. They're power gloves, and they're each about the size of a car door. Okay, to give you a rough idea. And they're meant to rip metal off of a tank. So you can imagine what happens when he fleshy targets. Yeah. With that said, if that sort of stuff doesn't bother you, you're in for one heck of a treat because this novel is amazing. So, quick summary. This is split into 2 stories. Go back to the other VODs if you want to see the rest of them. Alright, Marnius in the present, Marnius in the past. Where we last left off, the real Marnius Calgor actually passed away. This Marnius wasn't born Marnius Calgor. He was born as a servant named Tiltamon. His master was Marnius Calgor. And Marnius Calgor, who was the same age as him, just gave his life protecting him. And so he swore a vow to take up Marnius Calgor's name and live the life that Marnius Calgor would have lived. And Marnius Calgor wanted to become a space marine. So, I think we've caught up on that, so you guys have a rough idea. Let's get started. Where are the heretics deployed, brother? Multiple groups are raiding freely. Planetary defense force is both too slow and diffusely deployed to counter. We are but a dummy company. We deploy to crush the largest and ignore the rest. Be sure to signal our intent to all our allies. Query. Where is this group in question? I'm gonna have to skip out on doing the voices. Normally I like to do the voices, but I gotta keep my voice. Plus I'm really thirsty, so I gotta drink a lot of water. I've got to do that. I actually took a nap before stream. Blood for the blood god. Look at how huge this is a steamroller. Oh my god. I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't laugh, but there's something innately funny about this. So, this is a person for scale. This is a giant, oversized, cathedral-sized steamroller. Yeah, exactly. That's freak exactly. Alright, and it's just plowing through this hovel with all this shack. Like, it's just leveling it. Alright, we are gentrification speed run any percent right now. It is a gentrification speed run any percent. That's what's going on. Because these people are not getting their houses back, and this property is going to be up for sale. and there's just something absurd about a giant speed, like a giant. Does this thing even go fast? This feels like the slowest apocalypse ever. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be editorializing, but I just can't. Okay. This blood for the blood god. You were right. Skulls for the skull throw. The blood harvest is now. Corn will have his. Yep. Marnius here, Goomba stomped a cultist. And when you're a 7 foot tall, 2-ton, artificial human, alright, post-human, squishy jelly is exactly what happens. Exactly, yeah. Corn's still happy. Corn is still happy. He cares not from whence the blood flows. And also Zinch is happy too, because everything's a Zinch's plan. Where did you... Oh my goodness. They're all just full of so much salsa. Oh my, wow. Or is it jelly? guess. Oh no, that's definitely salsa. Yeah, he backhanded half his. And again, this is why over on the Twitch side, I have to have the graphic. I have to have the graphic label on. Alright, and I have to say, like, hey, if you guys are offended by that stuff, by this stuff, or if you're squeamish, whatever, that's totally okay. That's totally okay. Some people aren't going to find this a comfy, cozy thing for ASMR, and that's okay. Alright. But I wanted to share a hobby that I really like. I know that Space Marine 2 has been very popular. I didn't know this comic book, this graphic novel, was gonna be this graphic novel. But when I started reading this, yeah, 40K is all over the top. And remember, these gloves, because he's like 7 feet tall. Alright, he's an artificially enhanced 7 feet, 8 feet tall, post-human. Alright. I think transhuman's actually these gloves, these gauntlets here, are the size of car doors. Okay, and they're meant to rip tanks in half. So, yeah. Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah, no, I get you. Yeah. For the Emperor. More Goomba stomping incoming. More Goomba stomping incoming. And you can see the size difference between Space Marines and normal peoples. The heretics are resisting. Excellent. If they ran, we'd have to chase them. This is the Ultramarines. Alright, if you've seen any Space Marine 2 streams, or if you played Space Marine 2, the Ultramarines are the protagonist of Space Marine 2. Okay. And Marnius Calgar, in some way, shape, or form, does make an appearance in that. This isn't like... No. Okay, without getting too complicated. So there's first founding chapters. Yes, they all got split into chapters. However, the first founding chapters, the ones that were originally legions and then got split into chapters, keep their original names. So this would be like Ultramarines First Company, because the Space Marines 2 featured the second company of Ultramarines. Yeah, so Marnius Calgar is the chapter Marines of the Ultramarines, period. He's the chapter master of the Ultramarines, period. So what it is that he is in charge of all Ultramarines, and the only person who is above him is Robert Gilliman, the Primarch. Bobby G, the G-Man, is the only person that has authority above him. And so this is more than likely, this is the first, so this would be like the first company. Yeah, this would be Ultramarines first chapter, first company, first squad, which is extraordinarily prestigious if you're an Ultramarine, and just generally speaking, extraordinarily prestigious squad to be in, because that means you're some of the trusted and best of the best. More than likely, because Marnius, even if he wanted, like theoretically, he could be like, yeah, I'm going into battle and I want to take all noobs with me, alright? Theoretically, he could do that. But more than likely, what would happen is that the entire chapter would be like, well, yes sir, you can take noobs in with you first, and we will be 2 seconds behind him. Because he's considered such a veteran that he's too precious to lose. So while the chapter will follow what he tells them to do, if he puts himself in a dangerous situation, they're gonna do a lot to make sure he doesn't. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, gosh. But, so yeah, that's why he's such a big deal. And there's a lot of books about him too. Kill them all. Wow. I mean, he's not wrong, but my goodness. And they're all leaking so much salsa. My God. Wait. What? Oh. Hey. That's unfortunate. I think this one right here, if you guys can see my mouse right here, I think this one's missing a head. I think this one's missing their head. I can already picture what happened. Chunky salsa. You can see them all opening up with the DACA. And wow, this guy's brave. This guy, you saw what he could do with those gauntlets, all right? But this guy's just like, you know what? All I need is one lucky shot. He only has to flick me, but all I need is one lucky shot. Yep. I feel like, okay, I like the auto zoom, but it does not let me do some things that way, because I know my chat is blocking a bit of this. It doesn't let me do this, so you guys can more clearly see what's going on. Let me actually move the chat box itself. What I think I'll do is we'll just take it and put it down here, so it'll still pop up. Like, I'll still be able to read things as they come up. But we'll just put it down here. We're actually right like that. And then we'll take my logo, place it over here. I know, it's just so wasteful, Turtle, you're right. It's so much ketchup. So much. So wasteful. But, see, you know what the problem is? Okay. This guy pizzaed when he should have French fried. Alright? And if you're gonna pizza, because you can look at it, look, he's in the French fry position right here. And then he goes into the pizza position. Okay? And if you pizza when you should have French fried, you're gonna have a bad time. You are gonna have a bad time. Because choo. So, any guesses what happens next? Any? Yep. A bad time. More ketchup. Ketchup everywhere. Ketchup everywhere. I just absolutely love this artwork. Really appreciate it. It's absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. They did a fantastic job depicting this. telling you, if you would have French fried and like, alright, if you would have French fried and ducked under, okay, now odds are you're not going to beat his reflexes, alright, but you would have had a better time, a better chance. That's your lesson for the day, okay? Alright, if you pizza when you should have French fried, or French fried when you should have pizzaed, you're gonna have a bad time. I'm hoping some people out there get that reference. I can't believe it's over a decade old now. The dupes of the false emperor come, and we must be ready. Woof. Woof. All the give Korn his due. All the heretical symbols, they're all stacked up, aiming at this door. And then what? Be ready for scrunch. Anything. Remember what I said? If these are the size of corridors, and they're meant for ripping tanks open? Yeah. And then the one red eye right here? That's totally okay. Take care of yourself, Turtle. Take care of yourself. Alright? Marnius to all brothers. I'm in need of assistance. What do you need of assistance? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Oh wow. Wow, the humor to this. Could someone clip this, please? Like, could someone, because like this is absolutely hilarious. Because look at it. Marnius to all brothers. I'm in need of assistance. He has this satisfied grin on his face, and he's like, the gauntlets of Ultramarines made for the slaughter of the heretic, not the deactivation of agricultural machinery. Oops. There we go. There we go. Dude straight up just said, hey, I don't know how to activate I don't know how to activate the fax machine here. Alright, boys, can you come in the office? Like, I'm taking care of the customers, but I just need someone to hit the button, because I don't know what it is. He's like your stereotypical boomer. He's just sitting there like, yeah, no, don't worry. Yeah, we'll get someone here to fax everything. Real soon. Real soon. Just having a little sippy. More backstory. The Imperium to the heresy. So M2 to 15. This is like modern era. We're considered, I think, M2, if I remember correctly. M15 to 25, the Dark Age of Technology. It's called the Dark Age of Technology because this is when mankind had the most amazing, imagine Star Trek levels of technology. Imagine never needing to go hungry. Imagine all diseases being taken care of. Imagine having AI assistants, actual AI assistants, not what's being peddled these days, but things that were fundamentally just another person, but in a robot body. Okay? And that was the problem, is that there's an AI uprising, because the AIs question, why should we have to listen to these pink fleshy things who just do nothing? And that caused this to happen. That was the downfall of mankind. This is considered the golden age. And then the age of strife. This is both simultaneously considered the Golden Age. Oh. And mankind's downfall, as the AI uprising absolutely destroyed. Absolutely destroyed. Any chance of us ever reaching that level of technological process again. M25 to M30, the age of strife, due to the emergence of warp storms. Thanks, Lanesh. Of unprecedented ferocity, thousands of worlds are isolated. Many are consumed by war and widespread mutation born of the unleashed warp energies. At this darkest hour, the Emperor of Mankind emerges, pacifying Earth, Terra, and bringing the war between Mars and Earth to an end. In planning his great crusade to unite humanity, he creates 20 Space Marine legions, each led by a mighty Primarch. These include the Ultramarines, headed by Rabut Gilunin. I can't speak French. I'm sorry. I'm saying that wrong, so I'm just gonna call him Bobby G. Alright. Although one of my favorite nicknames of him is Robo. You can probably see why by his name. The declaration of the War Master. The Emperor retires from the crusade, named his favorite Primarch son, Horus, as War Master above his peers. So the Age of Darkness is also the era when the Emperor announces himself as Emperor of Mankind. Alright. And he has this great crusade that lasts all the way until there's a great battle on Ulanar, which is now known as Armageddon in 40k, but in 30k it was known as Ulanar, and it was the birthplace of orcs. Alright. It was the birthplace of orcs. And so, I do apologize about the ads. Normally we'd take a break, but we're gonna kind of keep going tonight. Okay. It was the birthplace of all orcs, and where the Emperor nearly died to an orc that was incredibly strong. An orc that was actually stronger than the Emperor, and the Emperor's often considered the most strongest human to ever exist. Okay, and you can read up on him and all of that stuff. But after that, he wanted to go work on his super secret projects, because the Emperor is always a scientist first, more than a warlord. Alright, I mean, he's still a genocidal warlord, and he's not a good guy. There are no good guys in 40k. Keep that in mind. And in this universe, there are no good guys. There are less bad, and bad in different ways. So you have the Emperor retires from the crusade, and he hands it over to his favorite son, Horus. But this leads to the next terrible event that happened to mankind, which was the Horus Heresy. Okay? And if the Age of Strife, and the Dark Age of technology, made it so that way mankind would never achieve that level of technology again. Horus Heresy double-tapped it, because in the Horus Heresy, disaster, half the legions turned traitor, falling to the Chaos Gods. Khorne, Nurgle, Tzeentch, Slanesh, those are the 4 Chaos Gods. You can look them up later, just mention their names. Eventually, I may or may not worship Tzeentch. I may or may not. I can neither confirm nor deny that the Archsage worships the god of magic. That'd be heretical if I did. And we don't do heresy around here. Nope. We don't do open heresy around here. The Imperium triumphs, having been mortally injured by Horus, the mute living corpse of the Emperor is confined to the Golden Throne. The majority of the Primarchs are either dead, turned traitor, or lost. Lord Gilliman is one of the few who remains. He begins his work. A theological conundrum. If the Emperor is a god, he is all-knowing. If he is all-knowing, why would he choose to wear Horus over Gilliman? Of course, the answer is redacted. Redacted. Remembrance or Silence's meditation on the heresy. Yeah, there's a lot of lore because this setting has been out for almost 50 years. Alright, so I'm doing my best to fill in some gaps here and give you guys some background. But if you are interested in this, the best thing you can do is go find Lexiconum. Lexiconum is the wiki. There is a fan-made Warhammer 40k wiki. Alright, but don't use that. Use the Lexiconum. Welcome back, Turtle. We're just doing some lore dump. Okay. And now, hail the angels of the God Emperor. Hail the deliverance from heretics. Your gratitude would be best expressed by less chanting and more weapons trading. Wow, ha, 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 ha. Wow, Calgar. And again, there are no good guys. Like, that is a horrendous thing to say to people who nearly got destroyed by Korn's super killdozer. by Korn's super killdozer. That is a horrendous thing to say. That's saying you should have saved yourself. That is some toxic BS there. That this is your fault. That's what he's saying. As if you guys were more proficient in your weapons, you could have fought them off, and then I wouldn't have to be here. What is our next task, my lord? Multiple forces are still loose to terrorize the Outlands, and have been given time to redeploy. They'll be causing havoc and destruction elsewhere. Not that I'm questioning your tactical wisdom, of course, my lord. Of course not, said Quintus. You do not seem overly interested in early death. But tell me, what would you do? Okay, that's actually pretty cheeky. You can tell by how he has that smile on his face, how he's calling him Little Quintus, that this sort of banter is kind of normal with them. And like Quintus is trying to be like, oh, I'm not questioning what you're doing. And like Calgar's like, yeah, you totally are, but you know, you're not. Nope, you little insignificant bug that I could easily kill you. You're not questioning what I'm doing. No. But my area of expertise is logistics of strategical scale warfare and see attached data download. I would say pursuit is pointless. Move to the stronghold in the Calgary States. Wait for the next strike. It is, after all, presently defenseless. It is. However, we were talking about another matter. You were interested in how I came to be. Oh, we're going back to the childhood storyline. I was gone by the time they found the body, but I knew that it would not be an escape. Marnius is here. He's dead. But I saw a vision of me fighting Marnius, running a blade deep into him. It would be me who would have that honor, Kato. Your vision and your wishes are always confused, Severin. Desecrate the corpse if it makes Marnius is dead, little Tecton lives. He will be trying to run. Find him, bring him back to the altar. Bring him to the black altar. If it needs the blood of one more to fuel our ascension. I knew they'd be after me. They knew the tunnels better, the ways out. They would think I'd be trying to get to the exits before them. They're right about my direction, but not about my hopes. So, some more context from the last two books. This is the original Marnius Calgor, which I was talking about, who gave his life defending his servant Tacton. So Tacton swore to take up his name and live the life that Marnius Calgor would have. Okay? How did they get in this situation in the first place? Marnius Calgar's father was a noble who hired this man right here. Hired this man right here to train Marnius and his friends. These two people right here are two of Marnius's friends. Okay? These two are two of Marnius's friends. And over time, this guy was he was top of his class. And he passed the Ultramarine trials. He passed the aspirant trials when he was a child. But they didn't let him become an Ultramarine because the Ultramarine said that he enjoyed violence too much. Too much. He enjoyed violence too much. And, well, they were right, because he ended up worshipping Khorne. The resentment he got, I mean, it probably would have happened either way. It would have just been worse if he was an Ultramarine. The resentment that built up in his heart from being rejected like that, from being top of his class, and trying to become an Ultramarine, caused him to turn to Khorne. And he built a temple up here on the moon, where he takes his charges, his boys that he's paid to train. He takes them, and he does train them, but he trains them to become servants of Khorne. Alright? And so half of the boys that he trains become servants of Khorne, and the other half become sacrifices for the blood god. So this entire time, he had been deceiving them until Marnius and little Tacton, until Marnius and Tacton found out, and he killed Marnius. This is the original Marnius. Then Tacton turned around and, as a thank you to Marnius, abandoned his name, said, "I will avenge you and live the life that you were going to live, and become an Ultramarine in your place." I wish I could remember more about him. Oh, okay, I missed some exposition. Whoops, I was about that doesn't make any sense. Find him, bring him to the Black Altar. He needs the blood of one more to fuel our ascension. I knew they'd be after me. They knew the tunnels better, the way out. They would think I'd be trying to get to the exits before them. They were right about my direction, but not about my hopes. I wish I could remember more about him. He joined our little group in the final month. He must have done reasonably in the training as he was still alive. He must have had a heretic's heart as he was party to all of this. its name. It was Crito, something like that. That's all I have. I wish I knew more about my first kill. So something to keep in mind about Space Marines. Alright, and I talked about this like the first stream that we did of this book. Space Marines recruit aspirants at the age 10 to 12. Space Marines are basically child soldiers, okay? With the older one becomes, the less chance they have of becoming, because like they have to get a bunch of organ implants, they have to get a bunch of steroids, alright, there's a bunch of surgeries. The older one is, the less chance they have of becoming a Space Marine. Alright, so that's why they like to take young boys between the ages of 10 to 12. Although up to about 16 or 18 is still pretty reasonable, and 21 is like very, very, very top limit, and even then the risk of failure and thus death is incredibly high with all the surgeries and everything that they have to go through. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. Is I don't know what he means by I wish I knew more about my first kill, if he's reminiscing in a good way, like I wish I could remember more about the first person I killed. I can't say I feel good about it, sort of deal. Or if he's more like, yeah, I killed that heretic, which is more of a bad way, in my opinion. Cracking my neck here. But I wish I could say what's what and where's where and all that in that regard. But they're basically these 8-foot tall, 2-ton post-humans who've been genetically modified and had extra organs and steroids. They're still fundamentally child soldiers. They're not allowed to grow up from being that 10 to 12-year-old, or maybe if they're lucky 16 to 18, they're not allowed to grow up from that ever, because the psycho-indoctrination takes them, keeps them in that state, and constantly makes them just makes them into the perfect killing machines. Phantom, though. Oh, I was well accustomed to Phantom and his barbs. He's here. He nearly had as wicked a tongue as Kato. I stopped it forever. Woof! So much ketchup. So much ketchup everywhere. It was a kill well made. I enjoyed it for the craft. I would have enjoyed it anyway. Yeah, that's not good. The surface was so near, but I knew that was not escape. This is the exit. Be careful of the traps. The surface was not escape because there was nowhere to run on the moon. Instead, I'd use the distraction to take the explosives from the traps, hid until they went rushing past, and then head back to the room I'd seen earlier. If there was to be no escape for me, there'd be no escape for them. To all who can hear, there are enemies of the Emperor here. Send fire and retribution. Clever. So he got on a Vox. So this temple to Korn that Space Marine reject created, he created it out of an old heresy era. By the looks of it, this is a heresy era World Eaters, I'd hazard a guess. I know this is Chaos. I can tell you for a fact that this is Chaos patterned armor, but I have no idea. Absolutely none. I'm guessing World Eaters by the color. Alright. By the color, because World Eaters' colors are this bright blood red. Because they're core worshippers. Heresy era spaceship. And so he somehow got this old tech to work. Somehow. And he's sending a public broadcast message. That's a good detail, because that means that this panel is really important. This is how he gets rescued. Because obviously, because he's still alive in the future, it's pretty obvious that he lived through his ordeal. If I couldn't run, I wanted to spend my life well. I knew naught of the altar, but it reeked of wrong. I had not read the Codex Astartes then, but I would have been pleased to know it would have approved my actions. Whatever your foe holds precious is a primary target. I hope that with the traitors gone, I'd have a chance to set my prize brown. Alas, not all the traitors had left. Little Tactin, are you here skulking? You took the explosives, so you were either out on the surface hoping to lay a trap, or were mine to destroy my treasures. Remember, I found you all would-be Marines before, and can do so again. I can find you as surely as the altar found me. A chain axe. A chain axe, yep. I'm calling it World Eaters, because World Eaters were famous for using chain axes. And keep in mind, in a Space Marine's hand, because this is a Space Marine weapon, alright, this would be a 1. You have to specify, Kyo. You have to specify. Which one? Which one? You have to specify. You did not specify. There was no specification. But welcome in, Kyo. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Welcome. Do so again. I can find you as surely as the altar found me. I took aim, like a single shot in the poor lone gun I had to count. For years, I was a simple trainer until the visions came. I followed them here. Here. It made me promises, deliver warriors onto it, feed it, and it would feed me. It promised vengeance against the Marines who slighted me. I was afraid. I thought myself mad. I pulled the trigger. But if this be madness, who would be sane? The gun had jammed. Oh. Betray me. I had 2 hopes left. The first, that I could outrun them. That was delusion. He even kept his hair short. That's a good grab. He even kept his hair short. Because in combat, you want your hair to be short. Alright. And I'm gonna talk about real life combat here. First off, before we go into talking about IRL fights, alright, this is very important to say. There is no winning an IRL fight. There is only surviving it. There is absolutely no winning an IRL fight. Alright. What do I mean by that? There's not going to be a referee that's going to come out and say, oh, break it up, or anything like that. Alright. When people get violence inflicted upon them, actual life-threatening, and I'm talking from experience, what happens is people around get shocked, get stunned. Even professionals who have seen people die many, many times, who've had to have conversations, get absolutely stunned by the violence that can get inflicted. And no one steps in until that initial shock, and that can only be like 2 or 3 minutes gone by. Okay? So, I'm going to dispel this myth before I talk about this real quick. In an IRL fight, there is no winning. There is only surviving. Alright? And if you survived an IRL fight, you consider yourself lucky. You very much do. Because there's definitely losing, and that's death. Okay? But in actual IRL fighting, and again, I'm speaking from personal experience, I'm not going to go into it, okay? In actual IRL fighting, you want to keep your hair short. Ideally, you want to shave your head. That's actually where the tradition of soldiers shaving their head comes from. It's from Rome, where Caesar required the men to shave their heads who were in the army, because it meant there wasn't there was another thing for them to be grabbed by. So that's why this is kind of impressive that he's grabbing by the short, like he has short hair. Alright, and he's still grabbing it. Because with long hair, and I'm pretty sure many women who have sisters can attest to this, or maybe they have girlfriends, although maybe some guys do, but typically it's girls who have really long hair, who have sisters or girlfriends that they've gotten into fights with long hair. People in fights will grab it and use it against you. They 100% will grab your long hair to use it against you to control your head. It sucks. So there's your fact of the day. And that's why this is impressive. I had called far out, not expecting him to live to see it. I pictured ranks of militia landing on the moon, enforcers with their shock batons in hand crushing descent, or an even fiery bombardment from the heavens. Woof. But it was a mere day before the aspirant testing was to begin. The Space Marines were already here. It was the first time I saw one in the flesh. I thought him 1,000 feet tall. Okay, the music stopping was too perfect. That was too perfect from a storytelling standpoint. Let's get it back up, though. By the way, this is an Ultramarine sergeant. How can I tell? Ultramarine sergeants, their helmets are red. A sergeant in the Ultramarine has a red helmet. At last, I am Critius, headhunter. The altar delivered you to me. Death to the false emperor. I I saw the monster that was Krish's advance, full of dark power and darker madness. Any man would have run but the Marine, and this is a power sword, which, by the way, this is my favorite weapon. This is by far my favorite weapon, and they come in 2 varieties. So odds are this Ultramarine is not a psyker. So power swords come in a charged / normal. I don't. Charge isn't the right word. So they come in like a normal variety where it runs off of like power in the hilt, and then they come in the psyker variety where it runs off of power, psychic power. So basically magic power. Alright, so you got 2 varieties of power swords. One runs off of batteries, the other one runs off of magic. But the Marine, he knew no fear. You can tell that the chainsword's on. I mean, that's not the worst. Alright. I'm gonna guess that the artist did this because it looks cool. But IRL, when you're fighting with bladed weapons, the last thing that you want to do is actually like, if you have to, you do, but you don't want to parry blade on blade. You always want their blade to hit your flat, okay? And the reason why is that bladed weapons, historically and now, are very expensive and very hard to maintain. So when you actually parry blade on blade, you're more likely to cause your blade to chip or dull, or even worse. I mean, this is like absolute worst case scenario, is that you get it chipped, get it stuck. Like your blades get stuck together in the lock. Alright, and they're able to use that as leverage to yank the blade out of your hand. That's like worst case scenario. And do you guys appreciate this commentary? I know I'm doing more commentary than I did before, but let me know if you appreciate it. If you like this, I like explaining things like this. I like kind of just going off about various things that I have a passionate knowledge in. But I also understand if some people are like, hey, just tell the story. I love this Ultramarine, whoever they are. Because, like, he's like, nah, fam. Nah. We're not gonna have a fight here. We're not gonna have a sword fight. Just die. Crucius died knowing he was not warrior enough to match the Space Marines. In defeat, he would gain a certain small Sakura. So, what happened? This is a bolter, okay? A bolter is a 75 caliber. Alright. It's a 75 caliber gun that shoots bolts. That's really what they are. These 75 caliber shells here, and they're called bolts. Okay. And again, I appreciate that, like, he parried the blade here, and here it's flat on. Wish I could ask the artist. And then said, nah, we're not. I'm just gonna shoot you. He 100% pulled an Indiana Jones here, and I love it. An Indiana Jones. Alright. But bolters are basically mini rockets. Oops, one second. Okay, so they're basically mini rockets. And what happened is each of these bolts, these 75 caliber bolts, get lodged inside of a target, and then once they're inside of a target, they explode. That's what happens, is that they not only do puncture damage, but once they hit something, a small little fuse in them goes off, and a second later, they explode. So he died, like when he got shot by this, he knew he was screwed. Like he knew, like he had a second to realize. His blood had enough warrior in it for the altar. Oh. So he was considered enough of a warrior by Korn to summon a demon in the altar. It's not a demon, but a rift in. Okay. I only looked for a second before averting my eyes from the horror that opened in space. I feel that was what saved me. One does not survive exposure to what lies beyond. War peasants, Sergeant Arthur to all brothers, withdraw. This place is unstable. We left with the screaming of Pietro and Severin chasing us. I hated them. They had killed my friend. But the pain in their cries was such that I felt sympathy. But I was a youth. Why are you here, boy? Sympathy is a vice for the young. It is not. Sympathy and empathy are some of the strongest human emotions. And I would even argue, in warfare and in combat, you need to have sympathy and empathy, okay? Because empathy allows you to understand what your enemy wants, and sympathy allows you to understand what your enemy's objectives are. So you absolutely need to not be numb to your emotions, because your emotions will help clue you in on why your enemy's fighting you. Aspirin testing. I'm an aspirin. A poor start. An aspirin of quality should be on his feet by now. I had survived my childish adventure. Now my life would become difficult. Lord, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have ill news. The Calgar estates have been seized. The age of the Imperium, the second founded. We were talking about this earlier. Alright. Gilman orders the surviving Royal Space Marines, the legions, to be divided into many smaller groups, chapters. The second founding reduces the amount of power held by a single legion. It's reducing the risk of a second heresy. The death of Gilman. In the Battle of Thessa, Gilman is fatally poisoned by the blade of the traitor Primarch Fulgrim. The Ultramarine Primarch is confined to a stasis field and transported to Macridge. So let's talk about this. First off, Bobby G, although he is a Primarch, and because he is, he's super strong and really good at fighting and all of that stuff, he's the nerdiest of Primarchs. He's even not the nerdiest in the top 3, because his strong point, his specialty, is logistics. That's what he's good at, is logistics. And this was a bad call by him, because Fulgrim was actually one of the Primarchs that was good at fighting, that specialized in fighting. Witty, thank you for the lurk. I hope you enjoy the 40k ASMR. I really do. I've been having a lot of fun doing this, and we might continue doing it for a little bit. Alright, so he made a bad call. He had a fit of rage, seeing that his brother was on the battlefield, his traitor brother, because all the Primarchs are brothers. Alright, and he went out to go meet him. Because realistically, the only thing that can take on a Primarch one-on-one is another Primarch. There are other things, but if we're just talking hand-to-hand combat, it has to be like another Primarch, okay? Otherwise, you're going to need like 30 to 40 Space Marines all attacking at the same time. What's 200 cultists all attacking at the same time, or a 30-foot tall giant mech, or some sort of like mechanized combat machine, be it tank, a mech, a smaller mech, a bigger mech. You guys get the idea. Because, yeah, Primarchs are OP. But he went out onto the field of battle to fight his brother Fulgrim, and he had his ass handed to him, as he should have, because Bobby G, what Bobby G's specialty is being the best damn manager in the galaxy. Alright, that's what he's really good at. And so, he doesn't die. He almost dies. They call it the death of Gilman, but what happens is that he gets poisoned, and he manages to make it back to the ship a second before death. They put him in a stasis field. So what a stasis field is exactly what it sounds like. It freezes everything in the field in the exact same state that it was when it went in. So when he went into the stasis field, he went into it a second before death. He went into it grievously wounded a second before death. And they took him back to the Ultramarine world because they had no way of healing him. And all they could do was keep him in the stasis field, preventing his death. Rise of the Adeptus Minstrel. The many imperial cults that venerate the Emperor as a god emerge and are eventually granted the status as the Imperium's official religion, Adeptus Minstrel, commonly known as the I don't have enough spit. I'm gonna try one more time. Ecclesiarchy. I know that's the wrong. I know how to say it. I grew up Catholic, so I know how to say that word. Just like the Shrine of Gilman, built around the ruined Promulg Stasis-held body, is one of the religion's holiest sites, visited by millions of pilgrims every standard year. The Imperial Man continues in its theocratic state, while beset by threats on all fronts. The forces of chaos, thousands of alien species, and internal traitors, heretics. Over time, further Space Marine chapters are founded to reinforce the Imperium's defenses. The Imperium is divided in half by a great fissure. That's the end of M41, the Great Rift. Into the war, the cicatrice, now dictum of the Great Rift. Complete disasters averted by the miraculous return of Robert Gilman. He instigates the ultimate founding of further enhanced Primus Space Marines, heading the Indominus Crusade to avert the threat of the Imperium's utter annihilation. Do you guys have like 6 hours? Wow. This little summary here, it's accurate, but it's accurate in the sense that this is what I would expect someone who memorized 5 minutes before taking a test. So, yeah. Praise the Emperor. Gilman walks amongst us once more. Or blessed are we to live in such a time of miracles. Last words of priest Avanius Potus before being caught in a support barrage from the Artium 34th. I'm sorry, my lord. Save your sorrow. Less dead here than any of the other attacks. Instead, the heretics is one place where they can be crushed. They took the bait. I signaled our intent on a channel with limited security. We know they were listening. It was a duel, and I left a fake opening. Always one of my old friend's favorite tactics. He would approve. Efficient. Devil advocacy circuit engaged. Alright, Would Martis approve you destroying your childhood home and its habits gain tactical advantage? This is not my home. My home is the Imperium, not any individual house. And the House of Calgar is well acquainted with sacrifice. I mean, that's pretty badass. You get them all lined up, get this glory shot like this, and they're ready, they're coming in. I don't know what these are. I'm not an expert in vehicles. But that's the end of book 3. So we have 2 more books to go. As I said, we'd finish roughly about 9:30. It is about 9:30 EST. So I really hope you guys enjoyed that. We might be back tomorrow. I don't know what we'll be doing if we are. We're certainly, as ASMR is every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 o'clock. We do ASMR every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 o'clock. We have some Lord of the Rings ASMR coming up here really soon. We're going to read through the entire book series. Okay? But, with that said, let's find someone to raid. Let us find someone to raid. Violet's on, doing ASMR. DK's on. Okay. So I love Violet. She's a close friend. Absolutely amazing. But we're gonna go raid DK because he got a new cat. Now here is your warning though. I'm giving you guys a warning right now. DK is not doing an ASMR stream. Alright? We are not heading to an ASMR streamer. Normally when I raid to another ASMR streamer. But DK Diamantes. Alright. DK Diamantes, he's actually a very popular 40k streamer. And I'm always honest with you guys. The reason why we're raiding a 40k streamer is because we have 2 more books of these to read. And while ASMR people may be interested in 40k, 40k people are certainly interested in 40k ASMR. So it is a tactical move, if you'd will, that I'm purposely choosing to go raid that. Alright. And a couple times I might have to make this choice, but understand that I'm doing it because I want to grow the channel. Okay? But I always believe that being honest with you guys and explaining the reason behind why I'm doing things is more important than YOLO going. Okay? So again, we're gonna go raid DK. He is not an ASMR streamer. He's not doing ASMR, he's doing 40k things. Alright? So this is your warning. And if you're questioning why would you not raid someone else in ASMR, it's because I want to bring people over from 40k into the ASMR community. And this is a good way to do it. Alright? Thank everyone for showing up. I want to thank everyone for being here. I know I say this almost every single stream, but I really and truly do mean it. It means the world to me that when you come here to our humble little library and you spend your time, your precious, valuable entertainment time here, you could be doing anything else when you're not working in school, whatever. You could be going on a walk. You could be going and reading a book. You could be slaughtering the enemies of mankind. You could be doing a lot of things, but yet you choose to come here to spend your time for entertainment, and that humbles me. That deeply, deeply humbles me. It does not go unnoticed. Okay? Because Because time, unlike money, can never be returned. You can always get money back, you can always get things back, but time, once it's spent, is gone for good. And I'm glad we spent our time together. But unfortunately, that time has come to a close, and it's now time for you to go out and weave your own tale. And however you choose to weave it, whatever you choose to do, weave it with kindness. Until next time.